Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's Monday morning. It's a new year. I'm Nick Para. Oh, none of our names are here. That's different than normal. Um, Let me turn those on for us. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Chronically Illing Out on Sick of This Shit Publications. I'm Nick Parrow, joined by my good friends and colleagues, Beth Cruz, Stephanie Wilson, and Soso. We're back for the new year. Welcome, everyone. How are you, friends?
Looking forward to the new year.
It's great. I will want to find us on.
Yeah, I'm going to send y'all the link here in our chat. Sorry, I'm slow this morning too. Good morning, everybody. Let me close my door. I've got laser guns in the background.
There we go.
We've got laser guns. We've got a laser battle going on in the background. So, good morning, everyone.
We were left
Welcome
out.
as you're all starting to come in on the chat too. It's good to see everyone in the new year. Glad everyone is here with us. And it's going to be a busy day today. But we've got a lot to talk about on our own side for our new year, same me, or same us, or same you. Because do you really need to change yourself or envision a fake version of yourself or a fantasy of yourself to like grow? Or can you accept yourself and then use that as a starting point to move forward from? So, in our new year, how are we going to be the same selves, but make ourselves a little bit better? How do we better the same self that we have now rather than having to recraft or create a false narrative of ourselves to like move forward with? So I think that's how I want to frame the discussion stuff. Does that fit sort of how you were thinking about it? Because Beth, you came up with the initial title. Steph, you came up with a second option, and we went from New Year, New You to New Year, Same You, or Same Me. So, Steph, what do you think?
I'm seeing Monica say radical acceptance. I think it's great because, we don't change when the year changes, even though there's this, New Year's resolution tendency to say, well, I'm going to change in this way. Well, actually, we stay us, and we can try to improve something about ourselves, although I don't really even like that framing. I like setting intentions for the year more so than any sort of resolution. But I think that we need to stay in the reality that we're us and that we haven't changed in some basic ways, so that we can kind of be true to ourselves as the world changes around us, and give ourselves grace to deal with it, and give each other love and grace to, you all are living in the same reality I am, and it is really hard to like balance what's going on in the outside world with mental health, with physical health, with, staying physically awake, how much to engage with it, how much not. Can we write about it? Should we, how much should we be engaging with it? All of that stuff, I think, is all about us, and it's like object permanence. We remain ourselves and things change around us. So that's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes total sense. And like Monica was saying in the chat, is radical. I do like the radical acceptance. That's something that I practice as part of, and I'm going to answer your question, Monica, of emotional distress tolerance. Would love to hear more about that. What is reframing the question is, what is emotional distress tolerance? and radical acceptance um, is a part of it. It is one of the principles within emotional distress tolerance, and I know this because I've gone through 2.5 years of therapy for emotional distress tolerance in a group therapy setting. I am not a psychologist. I'm the child of a child developmental psychologist, one who's very good, and taught me a lot growing up. So thank you, Mom, for all of that. And I also have gone through years of therapy, and it's the mindfulness aspect, but on a slightly different level. Like mindfulness is part of it. To me, anyways, mindfulness is just one part of emotional distress tolerance, where mindfulness allows you to go from either strictly emotion mind, where you're only living in your emotions and you're not putting any rational thought behind it, or you're living all in your intelligent mind, where you are removing all of the emotions and you're just looking at it very analytically. Mindfulness helps you get to the wise mind, as my therapist put it, which is that not always middle point, but a balancing point of situational understandings of how you need to sometimes be more emotional and less analytical, but you need to balance it so that it's healthy and you're not destructive. So emotional distress tolerance is getting to that wise mind point, to me, anyways, and that's how I see it. So great question, Monica, because I think that's a really good framing of how I want to go into this year. Is I want to increase my self practice of wise mind and my emotional distress tolerance, and really use those tools deliberately throughout the year more often, because I've seen the power of them throughout the last years. It's improved my quality of life, it's improved my marriage, it's improved my understanding of myself and my self image and how I view myself. Um, it's improved my ability to parent. I think it's part of the better humaning that Steph does a lot of. And so I think my sane me is to continue using my emotional distress tolerance tools that I know, and applying them so that others can at least experience them and see what they look like. And we could even use part of this. I could go through the VA's manual of emotional distress tolerance and just read some of the lesson plans that I went through in group therapy. And we can just frame them as non therapy sessions or free sessions for ourselves of like, here's an emotional distress tolerance, and we could do that as a separate thing too, is like, here's a tiny tool from emotional distress tolerance that you can use and learn and apply in your life. So if anyone would be interested in that, let me know, and I would be glad to do some of that. I think that'd be really cool, because my year is going to be very intentional on masculinity and emotional awareness for myself. Let's
I
move.
think I,
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Steph.
I think that's super important to know that, right? I know that to know what you are focused on, because it'll keep you better focused. I think for me, and maybe for you guys too, I'm still a little all over the place. Like, I want to grow this, but I want to keep myself sane, but I want to focus on chronic illness, but I want to focus on public health, but I want to focus on context, but I want to focus on community, but I still want to keep myself like feeling up to doing some of it. So like that, I think that's really important to focus in on the intentionality of it, to keep ourselves physically and mentally kind of more together. So
when I was when I was a university student, I had this I wouldn't say a habit, but it's something that I kind of developed. It was like I wouldn't say they were like I guess it could be intentions and objective, but I really limited myself. I don't know why I like the number 3 to like 1, 2, 3, and the rest I would try to push back in the drawer of my mind, like, and say like, okay, if I were to do, for example, this morning, that exercise, I wouldn't, you're right. Like, objective is a big word because you kind of feel like, I don't know, in my case, if let's say it doesn't work out, then I'd be like, oh, I failed my objective. But intention is more, I don't know, it's like, it's a motivation and it's different, I mean, I could, sorry, my cat.
Your
She
cat is
wants to
being
be
very
part of this
intentional.
conversation. Yeah,
Very intentional right now to get in on the discussion.
exactly. But yeah, so I guess one of them, an intention would be to keep going into self-acceptance, my limits with my chronic illness, because I'm like you guys. My mind is all like, I want to get all over the place. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. But let's say I was to put like 10 objectives, that's just too much. And I find that as you're growing older with a chronic illness, you have to accept your limits. And that's hard because you'll have shift in energy. You'll have days where you're like, yeah, like I want to conquer the world. And then the next day, I think of yesterday, I was texting you guys, like I was just in my bed like the whole day because it's like, it felt like the 2 weeks of Christmas. And anyways, it was just too much, So yeah. So first, accepting.
That's why you have a panther, some sort of
little
wildcat.
panther in the house.
Cheetah, little cheetah.
Yeah, a little leopard. So yeah, I'm keeping her here because the other cats are kind of, she's the oldest cat and they're trying to attack her and she needs her quiet time. So but you can tell she's feeling my energy because she's going like, I want to be part of this. So yeah. So yeah, intention would be to try to respect my limits. And an intention is obviously to spend more time here on Substack, doing this thing. We're already, I feel, well, the word growing can be, it means so many things, right? But I do feel like I've grown, so I want to continue in that path. And like say for a third one would be to, I don't know why, it goes back to accept your limits. So I think I'm very aware of the, it's always going to be a back and forth. So try to find some balance. Yeah. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I think for me this year, I'm going in with intention and I don't think it's the same me, which I want to talk about here in chronic illness. I stopped a medication recently or reduced it 2 weeks ago. And it had such a dramatic impact on dropping fog. Duloxetine, I was on, I don't know, 60 milligrams, I believe. And I reduced it because I could barely get up. I could barely go through my day this year. And I wasn't feeling like I could function even. And even my husband said it was like, I woke up, I got up one morning and went, oh, wow, I've got a little energy. And I thought, oh, I must be out of a flare because that's the first thing you think. Oh, good, I'm done. But then I woke up the next day and I felt energetic. And then again, and I went, what's different here? Mm-hmm. It's this medication. So I feel like I'm going in this year kind of eyes wide open now a bit with myself. And I'm looking forward to intention of growing with all of you and looking forward to spreading some joy with Soso as well starting Wednesday. So I think this will be a new and improved Beth that I'm hoping for. So yeah, happiness.
Yeah. So, and I want to use that then as a point to say there's a lot of cool things that we're starting this month on with our group, with the Sick of This Shit publications, just in general. And so maybe we'll go into some of those right now real quick for everyone. Just as a reminder, too, is starting on Wednesday, Beth and Soso will be doing their new series, Time for Life, at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific?
9 a.m. Pacific.
9 a.m. Pacific. Um, every Wednesday, I believe, starting this week, for their Time for Life series, which is going to be super awesome. This
I'm
will
looking forward to
include,
our guests.
yep, Steph and I will be we'll be the two first guests. So we'll look similar to the show right now, but Beth and So will be the two on the top, and will be the hosts, for the show. I'll just be in the background when it's needed. I'll do some production management for them. And for me personally, I'll announce it now because I haven't put the article out yet, that I'm writing around it for myself. At least the intro article, is I'm going to be starting a new limited series for at least January and February, where I'll be doing 2 to 3 interviews a week with, male creators on intelligent masculinity. Um, and I have interviews lined up for the entire month of January already. And for at least the first week or two, I think now into February. Um, so getting close to filling that one up, for all the interviews I wanted to reach out to. So starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, so after Stephanie's show.
Which isn't happening tomorrow, but usually is.
Okay, yeah, and I timed it that way so on Tuesdays I would be after yours, so never conflict with Steph. I like deconflicting shows so that we can have a really nice daily schedule for everyone. Um,
Yeah.
And so Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then Thursdays at 10 a.m. or sorry, 11 a.m. Eastern, and 12 a.m. Eastern, depending on the week. Because I'm also doing a bro show with, Walter Ryan, Evan Fields, and Dr. Eric Lulov, on every other Thursday. So a lot of masculinity talk. I've been talking about the new manosphere that doesn't suck. So we're going to build it.
And I want to jump in. I'm sorry, but I want to jump in and say if you have not watched these gentlemen speak together, it's really as a woman listening. I wish that so many more men would listen, and it's just it feels so authentic and so real, and it's so appreciated. All of your perspectives are absolutely amazing, and
Oh, yeah.
what you're building here is life changing, I think, for many men. So thank you for that, and women and others. Yes.
Thanks. I hope it's helpful. I hope it's useful for others. I know it's helpful to me, and it's beneficial for me. So it's a little bit selfish because I get to hang out with my friends, and I get to make new friends and invite other folks on to increase our, community and grow. It's all about the intentionality of it. Is I intentionally reached out to a bunch of other male creators and said, "Hey, I want you on for interviews," and so far I've gotten a yes from just about every single one, and I'm waiting on responses from like 2 so far, 1 or 2, and that's about it. And it's just one is to confirm scheduling, and then I've got more that I'm going to be reaching out to. Like it's going to be a lot of really good folks that people have seen and have I've been on shows with and stuff before. So tomorrow is Sherrod Sweeney, the co-director at Centered America, and then Thursday is Shane Yurick. He's going to be my first Thursday one. Only one Thursday interview this week, because we have our bro show also. So weeks that I do the bro show, it'll be only one Thursday interview. Weeks that I don't, it'll be 2. So keep an eye out for those, everyone. There'll be schedules, and we're working on getting things like easy for folks to view and understand because there's a lot. And we want everybody to be able to follow along without like getting lost in all the sauce here.
Right.
If I may
Mhm.
add, Nick, I mean, I totally support what Beth just said about the show with the guys and the boys, because especially with I mean, I don't want to talk about that too much, but with what's happened over the weekend and, this kind of mentality of aggressivity that, I'm a big tough man. And, you could see the picture of Exit like going like, "Duh, duh, 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 duh," like on his computer, like almost proud and happy that he was going to do this. Anyways, that's all I was going to say about that. But I think that I am so glad there's going to be a counter culture to this. Like, I want to be a big tough man and be aggressive and be an alpha male. And like, for me,
Right.
this is where the risk is letting that happen without not being a counter voice. So I really want to applaud what you're doing, because this is needed. Of course, talking with a bunch of girls right now, but we'll be happy to watch it.
But it's important for me. It's important for me to have both. Like I've always had friends groups that are both male dominant on one side and female dominant on another,
Same.
and like interspersed in between. But I've always floated between like groups and groups of friends. I can easily make friends. The problem is I forget about people, and I apologize to all of the people that I have forgotten about.
The object permanence thing
is object permanence is if you're not like actively in my life, I don't really think about you. And it's not because I don't love you or don't care about you. It's just because my brain goes, well, you're not there. There's other things going on, so we can't focus on that. But the second you come back into my life, it's as though like nothing changed from the last time I spoke. My brain is like, hey, I remember everything about our friendship. Here's like last time we talked, you were like, you and I were talking about this, like what's happened since then. And like, that's kind of how it is.
I feel that. I feel that.
And so I'm being very intentional about like building and keeping my friends groups active for myself. Like I have very distinct conversations with you three that are different than what I have with my male friends. We have overlapping conversations that like without knowing it sometimes blend back and forth between, because they match up on what we're just discussing separately. But I think it's intentional. The intentionality is really a big thing for me, and I think that'll be like a huge focus throughout the year. And to Courtney, in our chat, I have not forgotten about the calendar stuff that you have been working on in the background and that we've been talking about, and the stuff that you've been supporting us with. Beth and I, maybe, and Lawrence and others, and anyone who wants to be involved, will start making it more visible for testing and easier so that we can actually get this out. So we're working on a calendar system for anyone who wants to know. Courtney has been really, really awesome and has been working a while on getting some really cool automations put together for a calendar tool for everyone, where we'll have a public facing calendar that you can subscribe to, say on Google Calendars or something, and you can get your shows of the day, and it'll have links to them. So you don't have to go searching around for your shows. It'll be easy. It'll be across various communities. It won't just be Sick of This Shit Publications. It won't just be Banner and Backbone. We're working to include and make sure we have like a collaborative space across with any of the podcasts that want to get involved with Freedom Over Fascism, with Gen X, if they want to jump in and be on the calendar so people can easily find them, with Zev Shalev and narrative.org, or with any of the other creators, with the Firebrand Project, with Shane Urich and stuff like that. So everyone has what I'm calling Banner Central, is our central hub for a calendar for everyone. And so that's part of my intentionality, is intentionally making sure we get that done. And get it done soon, so everybody has that tool, because it'll be helpful for me. It'll be helpful for me, but it'll also be helpful for everybody else. I like things that make my life easy and everybody else's life easier. I like tearing down roadblocks.
Thank you, Courtney.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. It'll go on. Definitely will go on my page, which probably needs some tinkering anyway. But I think like having that, there's so many of us that is like, as I think Court said, object permanence and time blindness. It's a great combination. And having that right in front of us can be really helpful. There was a time in my life where I could carry my entire calendar in my head. That time is not now. What would I do? What did I do? Was it this?
Did you celebrate? How did you
Was it
celebrate?
this?
You exploded.
Doesn't work. Do it again.
I thought it was perfect timing, though.
It was.
Yeah, I don't
It
know
was-
if you
I
did
can't figure it
stuff,
out.
but it worked.
Perfect timing.
So
See, this is why we come. This is why we there is so much going on in the world right now. Just know everybody who's in the audience and stuff is like, we understand there's a lot going on in the world. There was some really, the U.S. kidnapped head of state from Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. There have been setbacks all over the place for pro-democracy right now. Putin is becoming more aggressive. China is becoming more aggressive. Yes, we know. This is not the place that we're going to discuss all that, though. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows I will be talking a lot about it later today, especially around Venezuela with Arturo Dominguez, and then with Arturo Dominguez, Frederick Pogue, and Shane Urich on Palin Talk on Banner and Backbone. And then Elizabeth Raven and I will be discussing later this afternoon too.
He's
Around
in
3
Venezuela,
p.m.
right?
Yeah, around 3 p.m. Eastern. She's in Venezuela. She's a university professor in Venezuela. I highly recommend, and I will put her link in the show notes too, just saying, please go follow her. Is go follow Elizabeth Raven. Elizabeth, if you are in the chat with us today, just say hi, because anybody, you can subscribe to her from the chat. But she's on the ground in Venezuela, and I want to talk to experts and people who actually have deep understanding of what's going on, because I only know so much, but I can help at least boost it and get the information out there.
Well, one of the things that I want to just acknowledge here is not just that we know what's going on and we're going to talk about it in other places, but we know it's going on and we know it is influencing our own capacity
Yes.
and your capacity to take it all in. So, so some people here will talk more about it online. Some people will talk about it less or with different kinds of people, but it's impacting all of us and in ways that we don't even know. I'm going to tell on myself here. I took my morning meds on January 1st twice. Now, some of my morning meds can be doubled. It's not a big deal. Some of them can't. I actually asked Claude, is this a problem? And Claude said, call poison control. And so I called poison control and I said, is this a problem? They're like, go to the ER. So, sometimes just all of this input, and it turns out I was fine. I didn't end up having to stay that long. I just looked at the results of the tests and it was all good. But it can creep in ways that we don't always expect, especially if we're focused on, January 1st, I came home from being away and I didn't remember what actual day it was. And that's why I screwed it up, because I had already taken my meds because I knew what day it was in the morning, but I didn't really know what day it was in the afternoon. So I just want to name that for all of this, because this overload can seep out. I mean, it gets absorbed, but then can seep out in vastly different kinds of ways that we may not expect.
Including flares, not, that's included, but so many different ways. I'm sure, Stephanie. Yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because that's exactly what I wanted to do on January 1st, was go sit in an ER with lots and lots of sick people and hope that my mask was going to do enough to not make me sick too.
Definitely, I hear you so much, because like I kind of mentioned that yesterday I had a flare, like a fibro flare. And, usually I have this it's more like a habit of like checking out the news, like I guess a lot of us here. And yesterday when I saw like what was happening and the whole, it felt so heavy, and I was like, no, I can't handle it. So it's like, I just distracted myself, did something that made me feel better. Like, I don't know, like playing a little game, and then just on my cell, and then shut off. And it's like, no, I can't think about worse this morning. But this morning I'm waking up and I'm just resolved, feeling better. Helps me find back the resolve of I'm not gonna let them do this. Like, if people in the chat don't know, I'm Canadian, and we will never be 51st state, okay? And that makes me so pissed off. Like, what happened? You have no idea. And the whole talk about Greenland. Anyway, I already feel like it's just grabbing too much attention. But my resolve, I think our resolves really change on the way we are also feeling in the morning. You wake up, depending on your chronic illness is impacting your day. Do you feel like crap? Are you hurting everywhere? So I think we have to also be aware of that. There will be days where it's okay to just plug, anyways, unplug and just, focus on your immediate inner balance. So
right.
That's it. Yeah, you have to unplug.
Well, I watched Wicked for Good twice this weekend, and and I've been watching the show Heated Rivalry several times. So I think that kind of counts as really not needing to shield myself for little bits. And I think one of the things I said in the chat in Gen XE that I really believe is that if each of us kind of take parts that we're most interested in and focus on those, then other people can take other parts that they're interested in. So we're not all trying to manage and cover every single thing, because that's the first thing that'll burn us out.
Which is why Soso and I wanted to take happiness and joy and give everybody a little slice of just an hour of just some fun and chat, and who knows what those Canadians will come up with. So did you even catch that one? So yeah, I think that's our slide, and here and helping others that have chronic illness, that struggle daily, to let them know that they're not isolated, they're not alone. Those are the things that are important to me and what I want to bring forth this year.
And I am committed to making this work with Beth, because what we've discussed is there is all the place for doom and gloom, right? I mean, but we also need to shift the focus on what makes you feel good, what brings you joy, I mean, and Beth and I have gotten to know each other. I mean, the four of us, sorry, but we really take the time to discuss, and if we can bring that conversation, not just us, but bringing you, anyone. I mean, we're definitely going to have guests. I want to talk to just regular folks, that are, I mean, I've already told Beth, I wish we could have people that are also across the globe, because, and I will be going back. I saw Paul in the chat said, not to generalize it, but we've been progressively overloaded by the interconnectedness of the world. And I am absolutely sure we can also use, I mean, not just to use that interconnectedness to also bring out the good, because the internet coming into our life, it does feel like there's interconnected, but can we also use that to see, if you can't travel physically, then can we use this to just travel in our mind and, ask people, so what do you do over there in Ireland? What makes you feel, like that would be awesome. Anyways, that's just me dreaming, but maybe we'll get there.
No, we're going to get there. I think we're going to get there. And I'm really excited about this because I think it's, there. I'm going to ruin this quote by Maya Angelou, but it's one of my favorite. But a single candle, or how does it go? Now I got to look it up. But you can light 1,000,000 candles from a single candle, and I just feel like we can be that light. We can move past this doom and gloom because we have people handling. I've got Nick, Stephanie, they're handling a lot of the doom and gloom. What can I bring to the table? Well, I can only handle so much of the doom and gloom without wanting to, throw things at my television or whatever. I have to go, okay, what can I change?
Right.
It's that be the change you wish to see in the world. And that's where I'm at. Thank you. I'll stop talking now.
Influencers, I like to talk about it as like how we influence or how we impact our own sphere of influence, and how do we expand grow, continuing on the intentionality of it. How do we intentionally grow our sphere of influence in some areas? How do we intentionally pull back our sphere of influence in other areas? But how do we intentionally shift our sphere of influence to make the most impact that we can with the time that we have? And what can we do to help ourselves grow through that? Like the masculinity talks, the intelligent masculinity talks that I'm doing are all because I want to continue growing as a man too. Like I want to know what other men are doing so that I can learn from them and use some of their examples, some of the common themes between all of us. I want to see, like, it's going to be an intersectionality of men from across the board, and of different ages, and different backgrounds and views and just understandings, but it's all people who are intelligent and masculine at the same time, who have embraced like an emotional understanding and a reflectiveness about themselves, and are willing to discuss how they've grown and how they continue to grow. Because as Will Fullwood put it, is we need to stop talking about what we should be doing, and we need to be talking about what we are doing. And so for me, I am purposely discussing masculinity with other men on a very regular basis. And I want to do that so that I set a good example for myself, my son's friends, other men in my life, and other men that I've never met. So that's my intentionality through all of this, is continuing to grow that for myself. And that means I get to let Beth and Soso take over some of the intentionality of creativity and doing the meditations and adding and building to that. And that means on the other side of it, I continue to grow Banner and Backbone, and move a lot of the political aspects over there so that there is a space for creativity and intentional growth on this community. And I hope people are okay with that, because I want to make sure this community is a place for all of us to grow and come together and bridge gaps and use Conway's law, which is that systems are, it's really businesses are, but I consider it more general, is systems are structured on the way their communication system is set up. And so like governmental systems, business structures, communities, they're all based on how you communicate and how you set up your communication. And so this platform is going to be about just transparency and open communication and discussion about our mental health, our well-being, intentionally creating space for joy, because we need part of the political aspect also is politics is downstream from culture, and culture, we need to shift away from hate culture, because I'm not going to teach my children to hate other people just because I'm told I have to. Like, that goes against everything that I care and hold dear about. Like, my kids are going to love people because people are people. Like, come
That's where
fight
it
me.
starts.
Like, fuck you, white nationalists, come fight me. Like, my kids are going to love other people just because they exist. And if you prove them wrong, then they'll let you go. But like, the first instinct should be to welcome somebody in. Outside of that, then we can, like, if you break that trust, that's on you. That's a you problem, not a me problem. Don't make it a me problem. That's what we tell our kids is, if it's a you problem, fix it. If it's a me problem, I'll fix it. And then we're going to make a community of people who help fix our problems that are together and move forward. Because we all suffer from this system that is hurting all of us right now.
Exactly.
Like, we're all suffering from this. Nobody is doing better unless you're a supremacist. Like,
Well,
nobody.
even them managed to find a way to feel victimized. I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
the
I don't
ones in
think they're
power,
super either.
but
Yeah.
You're miserable. How can you be a happy or a happy person when you're abusing others, when your head is filled with hate, your soul is filled with hate. I don't
In anger.
understand that. And yeah, so much anger and hatred over what? I don't understand it, but I hope we can correct it as people. Yeah.
I understand the driving motivator of hate. Like, I understand maybe where they're coming from in some of it. Like, I get the fear of being othered and being made smaller, or being told that, like, from a men's perspective, um, is, as I grew up, I saw a very, very drastic shift in how boys were treated compared to girls at schools. And it was always framed in which I never had any issue with, because I was friends across the board with people, and I knew people who were smart on both male, female, anywhere in between. But it was always framed as, by the time I got into high school, was women are the only thing we're focused. Girls are what we're focusing on. Boys, you're going to be fine and go do some sports. We hurt a lot of boys by overcorrecting to make an equitable system without then continuing to include the boys. The narrative became a lot of they were talking about it this morning on Gen Xy, was, I understand why a lot of men see feminism as aggressive, because a lot of the messaging around feminism has been aggressively for women. Yes, that is threatening to some people, but also it aggressively left out boys in a lot of areas. Whereas Rachel from This Woman Votes talked about it. I think it was Rachel. It was either Rachel. Yeah, it was Rachel, I think, who talked about it, saying one of her kids read something of hers and said, this was the most, like, informative feminism that I've ever listened to. And I really wish this first time I've ever heard it this way. This was, like, positive, and it wasn't aggressive. And she was, I don't want to speak on her feelings on it. But to me, it sounded like it was a equitable feminism for boys in there too. It wasn't the overcorrection that we tend to do on both sides. Like, right now, we are overcorrecting towards supremacist views, male domination. We're overcorrecting towards domination right now and abuse in a bad way. And that's not a good correction. That's just these assholes are threatened and they're losing power. I'm seeing it more on as a like, I want my son to also continue to see that his intellect is valued, while also having my daughter know that her intellect is valued too, without we're going to focus exclusively on getting girls ahead in school, because that's what it felt like to a lot of men. I am not saying I feel this. A lot of men feel that they were excluded by the time they were in high school, because all of the promotions to get folks into college were geared towards girls and men in areas. And I think it was good because it helped increase equity and equality in the higher education space, and it encouraged more girls to get in. But a lot of men, boys at the time, who didn't have people who taught them better, saw it as an attack for their chances, because they were afraid. And they never intentionally made themselves better to get out of that fear. But I understand where they come from. Yes, misogynists are afraid that equality will mean a smaller slice of the pie for them, rather than it being an expanding bubble of inclusivity, because inclusivity and equity and equality is an expansive bubble that we can all benefit from. Supremacy and patriarchy, at least the abusive patriarchy that we have, or these structured systems of hierarchical like this, do have the toxic remarks where they don't see women as equal, or they see women as lesser, and they see it as a smaller slice of the pie rather than the expansive window. Like, I don't empathize with those men who see it that way. I just understand from seeing how it could have impacted me, because I could have made the choice too to go down everything is now geared towards women. What the fuck am I going to do? I'm this boy who is told, go do all these things, and now only things are being promoted for women to do. I can see where young boys at the time, who didn't have good either male father figures, or a mother figure, or some sort of parental figure that guided them, or guardians that guided them. They didn't have somebody to help them grow, where I did. And I think it was really, I think we've overcorrected, and then the men on the side that actually view like forward thinking, we all just shut up. And so I'm going to be intentional about not shutting up this year again. If you haven't heard enough of me from last year, I will be intentionally not shutting up this year.
Same you.
Yeah, same me. Same me. New year. Because I'm gonna do more of it. Like, my goal this year, one of my goals goal setting for the year, is I want to 10x my subscriber base. I don't talk about subscriber numbers all the time very often. I don't really care. I see our community growing. That's what matters to me the most. Paid subs help because it gets me on the leaderboard, and then that allows more people to be able to see our content and see what we're doing. That said, I don't really care. I want to 10x our subscriber base, just so that instead of having 400 people on our live, because we're just about at 400 right now.
Whoa.
We're getting towards our meditation time, so don't worry, everybody. We're going to meditate.
Don't panic.
Don't panic. We're going to calm down. is like I want to go from this just about 6,700, 6,800 that are in my subscriber base now and make it 68,000, because then instead of 400 of us in this chat, there might be 4,000. Like, imagine if 4,000 people could come in with chronic illnesses and discuss them in a space that is
Like,
judgment free
Same.
and safe and open. And like, we'll end the show maybe after we do our meditation by reintroducing ourselves real quick of, hi, I'm this person and here's my chronic illness. Because I don't know if everybody knows, the subscribers in our community have grown a lot since we started all of this. So if we could make 4,000 people healthier, who could then spread it to one extra person in their life and continue that change, like, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm cool with that positive footprint on the world. That doesn't bother me. Makes me happy, and I'm okay with acknowledging that it would bring me joy to see 8,000, 4,000 people listening, and then 8,000 or more people get impacted by it. Like, that's
I
not a
realize
small.
we're not alone. Right.
Yeah.
We're bringing people in, and you know, and keep people from being isolated, and know that there's others here that are, you know, maybe going through what you're going through. And
Yeah.
Right.
And
And
I
then
want
there
to.
are, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, there are lots of different flavors of chronic illness, and we are as inclusive as possible. So sometimes it's hard to either acknowledge or have other people acknowledge that you know what you're going through is chronic and difficult. And so I hope that us being here talking about it is helpful, so that I'm glad that you guys are starting to say who you are and what you have in the chat. That is amazing.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing those, for who's comfortable saying it. And yeah, Jandra, you should follow Descent in Bloom. She's an amazing creator if you don't already. And she has the same condition you do. And we'll probably get her back on too for see if we can talk with her soon. It's been a while since we've talked with Descent. But let's take a couple minutes out for Time for Life. For our little Time for Life meditation today, which is, I'll start it up here in a second. We are going to go off screen. It's just going to be the meditation. So please enjoy, smash that heart while we do it. And then when we come back, we'll close out real quick, so that everyone can get over to see Melissa Corrigan with Arturo Dominguez and Elizabeth Raven, because that discussion is going to be really, really important about what's going on in Venezuela, and seeing it through the eyes and ears of an expert. So let's be all centered and let's enjoy our meditation for today.
Welcome to our meditation for the new year. Begin by taking a deep breath in through your nose and slowly exhale out through your mouth. Allow your neck and shoulders to relax. Release any tension that you may be carrying into this new year. There is no pressure here to be any other version of yourself, only that you be present in this moment of relaxation. Allow the muscles in your face to relax. Allow your chest and arms to relax. With each breath, notice your body going deeper into relaxation. Whatever no longer serves you in this new year, let it slide away. It doesn't belong with you. Allow your core to relax, your hips, and now your legs and feet. Notice how your body feels when it is fully relaxed. Take another deep, cleansing breath in and slowly exhale out of your mouth. In this moment, there is only peace and calm. Take one last deep breath in and slowly exhale out. Notice the quiet stillness. You can bring yourself back to this grounding moment at any time that you need tranquility. As you go throughout your day and week, remember to take care of you. Rose.
It froze.
It froze. That's
Oh.
all right. We will make sure to get the correct version, the full version out. Beth had some computer issues, and that's okay. We'll get the full version out for everybody here
Sorry, guys.
later today, too. It'll come out on the Time for Life section under Sick of the Shit Publications with Beth and Soso as the creators for it. So look out for that.
Not that
I put
it's
you on.
okay.
No, that's
Your
okay.
part.
That's
Your
okay.
part.
We'll get it all out there. I just want to finish up our show real quick so everybody can get over to Melissa Corrigan's interview with Arturo Dominguez and Elizabeth Raven. That's really going to be really important today. So we'll do a quick our quick QRs with who are you and what's your chronic illness, and then we'll be back next week on Monday morning for another great episode. As we continue our discussions into chronic illness. So let's get for it. I'll start. I'm Nick Perro. I'm from Sick of the Shit Publications and Banner and Backbone and other stuff. But I'm Nick Perro, and I have fibromyalgia, chronic neuropathy, migraines, and some other conditions. But my main one is fibromyalgia. And let me pull up my QR code for, there she is, Beth.
Hi, I am the Possibilitarian's Light. I'm here every Monday with my co-host, Chronically Illing Out. I'm going to be co-hosting with Soso Time for Life on Wednesday. I'm a writer. I have fibromyalgia, psoriatic arthritis, gouty arthritis, osteoarthritis, ADHD, severe anxiety, and the list goes on. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Beth. I appreciate you. And next we have Steph.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I am the host of Freedom Over Fascism and co-host here on Chronically Illing Out. My biggest illness is chronic daily migraine, but I have had diagnosed in the past Epstein-Barr, chronic fatigue, anxiety, depression, just chronic body pain, and as Beth said, the list goes on. So I'm glad that you are here with us today, and thanks for being here.
Thanks, Steph. And finally, Soso.
Hi, everyone. My name is Soso. I live in Canada. My chronic illnesses are mainly fibromyalgia. I have also currently under investigation, but pretty sure I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder due to various lots of traumas, which often involve death of loved ones. So, but very dedicated to just seeing the beauty in life, which is why I focus on going outside when I can, connected with great people, taking pictures. So, and also trying to be a positive cheerleader for a lot of people. So yeah, that's it. Just thank you so much, guys, for everyone that's being with us. And let's go and let's carry, what's the word with the mug there? Keep calm, man.
Oh, keep calm and carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, let's carry on. And as I like to say at the end of all my shows, and I'll switch back over here at the very end, is let's all stop being sick of this shit and let's start doing this shit. It's a new year. It's the same us. We're moving forward. Let's all go do this shit together.
That's good.
And let's beat back fascism actively with each other. Thanks, everyone. Go have a great day. Go chill out with us and spread the joy.